What is up, everybody? We are back, but the energy is back, especially with my boy Ryan. So we have a couple interesting conversations with Ryan. Ryan is the owner, builder, all the things of this company. I want you guys to just see what this is because it's important. Because today's conversation is around CRO or AOV optimization, right? Sometimes you got to optimize the site to get those conversions, or you have to optimize how much money they're spending on that site. But I think that's important context because in 2020, Ryan's team, this team you're looking at, was the second fastest growing startup in Canada, which probably only second to what, Shopify? No, got over $100 million in sales on his own stuff, not for other people, not for other clients, and then 50 million in retail and Amazon sales. I've asked him to just put some stuff together. I'm very thankful that he's going to share stuff. I think it's pretty important to you. Like you spend time thinking about this stuff, huh, right?
Yeah, you got people that are out there trying to figure out how to do it for clients because they want to generate income for their agency. And then you have people that if they don't do it, then they don't survive. And I'm in the latter. So everything I'm kind of sharing here is things that I've learned to do it for myself and not to play agency role.
And I love it, which is why it's very unbiased. So without further ado, I'm going to remove myself from the stage. Ryan, the floor is yours. And
thank you very much, Nick. Today, we're going to be talking about CRO versus AOV optimization. And a lot of people argue one way or the other, which is more valuable. But at the end of the day, I'm going to show you what the gold standard is. And the goal here is to show you how to make more money with your e-commerce business. So we're all busy. You're choosing to spend time here listening to what I have to say today. You have a billion different things that you can do in your business. And just like you, I have 7-figure run rate on unread emails here. Nick made sure that I added this slide to the deck because I always tweet him how many unread emails I have. And I think it gives him a lot of anxiety. But the point I'm trying to make here is we're all busy. So I'm going to try to give you meat and potatoes, things that you can apply to your business that are going to give you leverage so that when you spend money on Facebook or Google or TikTok or whatever, you are maximizing the amount of money that you make for each visitor that comes to your site. So 7 reasons why you should listen to this talk. First of all, you don't have to. You can leave right now if you don't want to listen to me. But if not, it's cool. Stick around. Nick already said some things about me. I'm one of the co-founders and the CMO of True Earth, which has done more than $100 million in direct-to-consumer sales and 50 million plus in retail and Amazon. I spent more than $40 million of my own personal money on ads to learn a lot of this stuff. And I don't have anything to sell you. And I think that I have above average dad jokes. So hopefully I can entertain you like at least a little bit throughout this deck. All right. So back to the beginning. So conversion rate or AOV. I'm in so many different forums. I'm on Twitter. I'm on like Facebook groups. And you see these arguments. People arguing, is conversion rate what you should go for when you're doing split tests? Is it AOV? And conversion rate is a fantastic KPI. But if your AOV sucks, like who cares? It doesn't matter. If you have a $3 offer that converts like hotcakes, if you're paying $5 a click, it doesn't matter how fantastic your conversion rate is. High AOV is worth tweeting about. It's worth bragging about. But if your conversion rate sucks, to get that lift in AOV, it's not that impressive. I could send 1,000 people to my site, get a $200 purchase, one single $200 purchase, have a $200 AOV, but my revenue per session is like non-existent. So advertising is not going to work. So what is the gold standard? Before I jump into this, the caveat here is what I'm about to say does not necessarily apply if you're in a subscription business. You can model it a little bit differently, but the gold standard is revenue per session. So revenue per session is essentially the intersection where your conversion rate meets your average order value. So if you increase your conversion rate, you want your average order value to either stay the same or go up to have your revenue per session go up. If you increase your AOV and you reduce your conversion rate, your AOV needs to go up high enough that your revenue per session is greater than what it was before you lifted your AOV. And at the end of the day, the revenue per session is a great KPI for understanding how much you can spend per qualified click to arbitrage a new customer acquisition. So I'm going to break this whole conversation up, or this deck up, into 3 parts. We're going to talk about conversion rate optimization, things you can do to boost your conversion rate, some actionable things that are like pre-cart average order value boosters, and upsells, which are like cart AOV boosters. So I've broken conversion rate optimization up into like 5 parts here. These aren't some technical list. I didn't use ChatGPT to spit these out or anything like that, but some things that I generally look at when I'm trying to increase conversion rate. So the first thing, improve your offer. So What are bonuses that you can give people? That could be like Javi gives like a recipe book, free gift with purchase, adjusting your pricing. Like sometimes your product might not be priced right. Sometimes it's priced too low. And when you push the pricing up, you see an increasing conversion rate because people see a higher perceived value, or vice versa. Sometimes you need to push it down a little bit. Sorry, looking at the comments. The other thing you could also try doing is reducing the threshold. So when you're pumping a bunch of ads into Facebook or Google and you're getting purchases for your main product, there's some people that need to feel like, or that aren't willing to risk that price point. So if you're in CPG, offering a sample funnel or something where people can get in the door for considerably less, sometimes you're going to see, well, generally when the price is lower, you're going to see a higher conversion rate. And then, and then guarantees. So risk reversal. There's a lot of different types of risks that people face when they're making a purchase. There's an acronym called TIMER that I use for risk. There's time risk. Which is how long it's going to take to see the results. There's identity risk, which is how I feel about myself in using this product. There's monetary risk. Am I going to lose money, or is this going to be a bad purchase? Am I burning money if I buy this product? There is energy risk, which is like how much effort am I going to have to use to use this product in order to see a benefit? And there's reputation risk. So what will other people think of me if I use this product? So there's a whole bunch of risk reversal tactics that you can use to overcome each of those. The big ones are time, money, and reputation, and those are tied into guarantees. But the biggest one that most every single brand uses is a very clear money back guarantee. Sorry. The next thing is urgency, FOMO, and scarcity. I'm not going to advocate that you use false scarcity, but things like countdown timers during sales events, scarcity, showing the volume of product that's still available, and things like special editions. Like a good brand for this would be Supreme. They do these drops, and they've trained people that there's only so much available, and if you don't get it during the sale, you're not getting it at all. Frost Buddy, Brock from Frost Buddy is killing it with these special edition mugs or Frost Buddies right now. Simplified user experience or UI. Your funnels oftentimes have lead people through paths that you might not know about. So installing a tool like Hotjar or Clarity is a great way to look and see where are people getting hung up when they're coming through your funnel, when they're coming through your site. What activities are they doing that aren't leading to purchases, leading to dead ends? And then obviously going in and correcting that. Other things like embedding your buy box on your landing page so they don't have to click through to the PDP. On the PDP, making sure that your add to cart button is above the fold. Other things like making sure that your navigation is simple. You have your best sellers, your highest AOV products, your highest converting products, easily accessible. I'm going to get to the good stuff in a second, guys. I'm just going to finish this conversion rate part. And then better copy. So copy, you hear copywriters talk about copy all the time. They think it's the holy grail. But I see a lot of e-commerce brands focusing on the features instead of the benefits. So people buy products because of what it does for their life. How is this going to make my life easier, better? What problems is it going to solve? Start with sharing the benefit before you share the feature. Oftentimes you can write benefit statements that lead into the features. Doing the research to understand what customers actually want and need or have problems with in conjunction to your category of products is going to make writing copy for them much easier. Digging through Amazon reviews, either of your product or other products that are similar, you can take all that data now, plug it into ChatGPT, and have it output like the emotional cues, the triggers, all different stuff that like allows you to do really great deep research quickly. And then you can apply that to your copy so that customers feel like they are getting a product that caters to their problems. Other things, add more social proof and add trust seals. So social proof, like customers using the product. Trust seals are like credit card seals and PayPal and all that fun stuff. And then the last thing on the conversion rate optimization for low-hanging fruit is have your customer service track all of the questions that they're being asked. And honestly, just start bucketing them into frequency. And if there's something that's not currently being answered on your landing page or in your frequently asked questions, add it and bust the objections. And then in your frequently asked questions, you should be framing all of your responses positively so that you can leverage copy to push the consumer closer to a purchase. That should be the goal with every question being responded to in your frequently asked questions. All right, so I'm going to show you some cool now examples for stuff. Pre-cart AOV boosters. These are great ways to drive up your average order value. With all the things that I'm showing you here, again, make sure that you're always testing everything that you roll out, especially some of these bigger things. So oftentimes there's something I think that's going to absolutely crush it, and it craps the bed. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear or not, so I'll say crap. But so these things are going to boost your AOV. They might hurt your conversion rate, but the goal is to bring up your revenue per session. Free cart AOV boosters. There's 5 of them I'm going to talk about here. Incentivizing larger orders, bundles, free shipping thresholds, gamified carts, and discount ladders. So the first one, incentivizing larger orders. This is something that I see a lot of like brands who have inexpensive products get wrong. Even something that I used to think in the past is that I have an inexpensive product. There's no way that I can run ads because I just don't have, like, our average purchase is too small. So you can solve this or partially solve this by incentivizing people to take multiple, or incentivizing them to take larger volumes. And this first one here, these guys have a really cool landing page actually overall, but it's Uproot Cleaner Pro. Above the buy box, you see 1-pack, 2-pack, most popular, and 3-pack. Above, under the Uproot Cleaner Pro product name there, you have the pricing, you see the discount, and the percentage saved. This buy box is okay. It's decent. It doesn't do a lot to really push you or to incentivize you to take the 3-pack unless you actually physically click it. But I'll show you a better example. This is Charles Livingston's Life Boost Coffee. And this is like one of my favorite buy boxes from a D2C brand. What I love about this is you can see, like, we're on the subscribe and save tab here, but you can see there's 1 bag, 3 bags, or 6 bags. And you can see that he's using a psychological tactic called price anchoring here. So 1 bag is usually $34.95. And you're going to save 37% if you get 3 bags, and you're going to save 42% if you get 6 bags. That's a pretty considerable savings. And I'm guessing that this dramatically increased the number of bags of coffee that were purchased at any given point or per transaction. Here's another example. A friend of mine's site, Infinite Age CMOS, the buy box on the landing. This is buy box on the landing page. It basically gives you 3 different options, and we're incentivizing people to take larger quantities here. So 1 bottle is $44. We give a 30% discount if you take 3 bottles, which is $31 a bottle. And if you take 6 bottles, it's $29 a bottle. Save 35%. In this case, we're putting the most popular option in the middle, and we're making it stand out a little bit more. And you'll also notice, in this case, this was tested, but we don't have the total price here. We just have the price per bottle to get people to take a small step towards making the purchase. And another little cool thing here, I did the whole copy side of things. Available inventory extremely low. Kind of a little incentive to leverage people's fear of missing out. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is the Choose Your Own Adventure bundles. I don't know how many of you guys are old enough to remember Choose Your Own Adventures in the 80s and 90s, but they were these awesome books where I remember like reading 1 billion of them when I was in elementary school. But you would like read a chapter, and then there would be like 2 potential paths you could take. One would be like go to the castle and save the princess, or the other option is like go to the pub and drink beer and let Bowser ever. And you could basically curate your own story as you went. And people love it because people love to, you can read the book multiple times, but you can curate your own story. Just like people like to curate their own story, a lot of times they like to curate their own bundles. So we can go and we can make assumptions on what people are going to purchase, and we can test stuff and come up with the best converting bundles. And you can have predetermined bundles too, but these mix and match or choose your own adventure bundles or build a box bundles. What we're doing here with True Earth is we're letting people choose from different product categories, and the more they purchase, the more they can save. So right now, if you buy 3 different products, you'll save 20%. So this is pushed, like, the AOV on this page is like over $100, which is crazy when you consider that a laundry detergent product costs between 13 and 20 bucks. And we got inspiration from our good friends over at Obvi, Ash and Ron. They have a very similar build a bundle where if you get 3 products, you save 25%. And you can make this so there's different levels. So you get three products, you get 20%, 4 products, you get 25%, and you can continue. Sorry, I'm just reading Parts message about Bowser and the Princess. ADHD. Sorry, guys. You can have different levels. So you can, people that want to take all your products or a considerable amount can easily add more. Sorry, just reading the questions. This one's pretty obvious, but I see a lot of people do it wrong. Free shipping thresholds. Obvi's got it over 75. We're testing 30 right now. We had it at 50 before. But where I see people do this wrong is what they do is they look at their average order value across their site, and then they usually go and the general advice is put it a few dollars higher than your AOV. And the problem with that is that the people that are spending large quantities of, or the higher AOV purchasers are going to they're going to pull your overall AOV up. And if you put your AOV a few dollars, or if you put your free shipping threshold a few dollars above that value that's been impacted by these outliers, you're making a goal that's very difficult for the majority of your customers. So the best way to do it is to look at all of your orders and figure out where the largest cluster of purchases sits. So if the largest cluster is, say, $27 when you look at all of your orders, then you're going to want to try pushing your AOV. Like if our shipping costs, or if we charge $5 for shipping, then we want to push our AOV, the free shipping threshold, to say $32. That's $3 additional. That basically gets us at a wash on our if it's $27 plus the $5 shipping cost, 32 would make it a wash. So anything above 32 is a win for us. So that's where we would start. And then we would evaluate whether or not that is driving incremental AOV at a higher revenue per session. And if it does, then we'll try pushing that up like $1 or $2 and see how far we can take it before we get diminishing returns. Thank you, David. I'm glad you think this is gold and not the kind you find in your nose, because I was concerned about that. But I'm going to lead in from that free shipping threshold to another. I'm like, basically, this is like an Obvi and Trueworth deck, but Obvi's got some fantastic stuff. And where you can lead in from what I just said is, so we now know that we have a cluster of people that say, we'll use Obvi, for example. I have no idea what their numbers look like, but I'm guessing that they have a big cluster of customers that are just below that $65 threshold. So with a gamified cart, you can basically reward your shop with additional free gifts or unlock bonuses when they hit certain thresholds. And this leverages a psychological tactic called the sunk cost fallacy, which basically means I've already spent this much. I've already done this much. I might as well do a little bit more. I'm already this invested. I might as well keep going. So with this gamified cart, what you can do is you're going to have these clusters of orders and at different price points. And what you can now do is you'll go and you'll set these different incentives for where these clusters lie, and you'll set them just a little bit above it to push them to the next level. So I'm guessing that Obvi's got a ton at $60. They give the free shaker at 65. They probably have a whole bunch sitting around the 70 mark. Same thing. 75 gets you free shipping. They probably have a whole bunch of customers that get to the $95 mark. So if they push them to 100, they get the free gummies, and then they get this, I don't know, this brush thing that probably, I have no idea what it is. Could be whatever it is. It's another free gift. They also have this auto ship and save feature, which is great for LTV, but that's not what I'm talking about here today. But these gamified cards are fantastic. You just need to understand the data behind where to place your different thresholds in order to achieve maximum output. Obvi, Javi is another one. You guys have probably heard of them if you're in the e-commerce or DR space. One sec, how am I doing for time? I'm almost done, I promise. So they've got a really great gamified cart. And when you get here, this is like one of the landing pages from a Google ad, but there's 4 options. So there's 1 bottle, 2 bottle, 3 bottle, or 4 bottle. And then down, oops, I don't have my laser pen on anymore. One sec. Hope you guys can see my laser. So 1 bottle, 2 bottle, 3 bottle, 4 bottle. And you get the recipe book, I think even just by getting 1. And then if you get 3 bottles, you unlock the second gift. And then if you get 4 bottles, you unlock an additional gift, which they have this like low stock FOMO thing here to drive you forward. And this is like a fantastic way to drive up AOV, because people get like this dopamine hit of, oh, I need that thing. And since you can't see them until you click, you don't even know what it is. I think the low stock one here is like a frother. But again, leveraging FOMO, sunk cost fallacy, and the whole gamification cart. This is a little different than what Obvi's doing. Oh, I got one more. Discount ladders. So this one's a little bit simpler to implement. This is Hollow Socks. They have this, basically the more you purchase, the more you save. So 2 pairs, you get free shipping after 2 pairs, but you also get 10% off. You get 4 pairs, you get 20% off. 6 pairs, you get 30% off. Tools like this are going to like just incentivize people to take more items, especially on things that are like consumables or commodities like clothing. And then I got upsells. This is another great way to push up your AOV, but the pre-cart stuff, you want to make sure you split test. I'm going to try to speed up here since I think I'm pushing a little bit going a little over, but pre-card upsells. This is Ezra Firestone who's speaking at this event. His website, Boom by Cindy Joseph. When you go to checkout, you get this little pop-up that says, add our new most popular product to your cart. He uses, I think, one-click upsell to do this. This is one of those ones you're going to want to test because it is a pre-card upsell and can reduce conversion rate. But it's a great way to add another product to the cart. Order bumps. This is super popular by Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels. Having a Johnson box like this is off True Earth right before somebody completes their purchase. Again, this is one of the highest converting offer or upsells that we put out there, but it also has the risk of reducing your conversion rate. So test. One-click upsells. Again, this is Ezra's one-click upsell. There's absolutely no risk of decreasing your AOV or your revenue per session or your conversion rate with these because they happen after the customer's already purchased. It tokenizes the cart and their credit card information, and you can offer them either more of what you've just offered them or different high affinity products to drive up your AOV and revenue per session some more. And then the final thing here is Tom Cruise at Ecom. That is, I'm gonna get some sunglasses, and the next time I speak, I'm wearing them through the whole deck. But this last one here is thank you page offers. Again, no risk to reducing your conversion rate or your AOV. You can offer them, incentivize your customer right after they purchased with an additional discount and put some of your top selling item on your thank you page that they can add to the cart and have it sent with their order. Putting a big discount here that's only available for a short period of time it's low risk. It incentivizes the customer to buy more because it's such a significant discount. And since you've already made a number of different other since your customers have purchased a number of other items, there's a low risk of eroding your overall profit. And so for upsells, a lot of guys tell me, but I only sell one product. So what should I sell here? The easiest thing to use as an upsell is more of what they've already bought. Like you already convinced this person that they need this thing. I can't believe how many people are like, oh, we don't want to put more of this thing on there. It's crazy how much people will buy more of what they've already bought, whether it's a year's supply, whether it's like some for additional for friends and family. If you can't think of something to sell them more of what they already bought. A second thing is like high affinity products. So if you sell toothpaste bites, selling mouthwash bites, you might not have them already. So you might want to test it with somebody else's product. But other things are like if you sell toothpaste bites, sell toothbrushes, whatever the hell it's called. And then this last one, a buddy, Matt Larson, told me about this, and it's pretty brilliant. But most businesses have service businesses or other businesses that are in their category that offer some sort of like expensive service. So a good example would be if you have a pet food brand partnering with a pet insurance company and offering like a lead magnet. So 22 ways to keep your pets fit and healthy and out of the vet from petinsurance.com. And a lot of times these guys will either pay you a flat rate per email, and you basically offer this as an upsell and say it's free. Just opt in to receive this free gift. And people have already crossed the line to make a purchase from you. And this is just an easy 100% or zero margin or 100% margin thing that you can add on. You just need to find somebody in your industry that's willing to pay you for leads. And if they're not willing to pay you a big chunk for the lead up front, work a deal that they have a solid funnel and you get a percentage of all the sales associated with those leads. I'm sorry. I'm going too long. This is the last one. Some of the mistakes I see when people are doing split tests and CRO, they're not segmenting. The first thing that I see people do a lot is they're just looking at the overall results as a macro. You need to look at it from mobile versus desktop. Sometimes something will perform extremely well on desktop and not as well on mobile. And you'll see a decrease on one and an increase on the other. There's going to be a point where you're going to have very different looking pages potentially, but it's worth it if you do it right. The other thing is, this one's huge, and I screwed up on this for a really long time, is you need to evaluate the traffic source, segment by the traffic source when you're looking at a split test, because cold Facebook traffic or cold Google traffic looks a lot different than your email list or people searching for your brand organically. Like our brand, we've had over 1 million customers. And if we run a split test, it can be massively skewed by the people that are already part of our community. So in order to validate that we're not hurting our acquisition funnels with these tests, we actually need to segment the traffic so that we see exactly how Facebook ad traffic performs on mobile, how Facebook ad traffic performs on desktop, and same thing with Google or TikTok, because each one behaves a little bit differently. There's going to become a point when your brand gets big enough where you probably are going to have to snap off your funnel for a new acquisition, because the behavior from somebody that's an existing customer is typically considerably different than somebody that is new to your brand. Anyways, that I was a little long-winded, but that's a wrap. Follow me. You can follow me on Twitter at Ryan McKenzie, or I try to put out YouTube videos weekly. I haven't been that good at it lately, but if you search for my name on YouTube, you should find me. And I don't know if we have any time for questions, but I'll let
Absolutely
Nick
we do.
Okay.
1 second. The camera should be kicking in. There we go. Dude, this is why you want operators that are executing to give presentations, because A, they're like super self-conscious of the deck that they're putting together, because you're like, I don't do this all the time. I can. And guys, he practiced. This was practiced Ryan content.
I practiced. I'll just like to be clear, I practiced it before I went to bed once, and then I practiced it again this morning once. So that's
More than most people. More than most people.
That's probably the most practice I've ever done for anything, to be honest.
Appreciate that, and it showed, because you felt very concise and you explored at the right time. So there's a couple of questions that we'll go into. Then we'll give everybody a short, quick break before we put on the next one. So the first question was from Jack. How do you boost conversion rate on a waitlist landing page? This is, before you jump into this. This one seems difficult too, because the point of the waitlist is not really incentivize them to act quickly, because they have to wait for it anyways. Is there even optimizing of a waitlist?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't do a lot of wait lists. I don't do a lot of them because I don't feel that the time and effort for my team to put the wait list together is worth the incremental output.
Wow.
But that's another
That's
story.
A hot take.
Yeah, that's whatever. It doesn't mean that it's not right for other people. But I think like on a waitlist page, you could easily add like additional value, or you could add some FOMO for if you're the first 1,000 people that sign up if you have a launch, you could say that your place in line is based on how quickly you get on the list.
Yeah.
So things like that, like incentivizing people to, again, leveraging FOMO, like how can you say to convince somebody to get on there as quick as possible?
Yeah, I would say, before we jump into the next question from David, adding in videos of the product that they're waitlisting for. Hopefully you have some videos that either you shot or somebody else on your team shot of them getting the product. So it's like an unboxing experience of like, waitlist for this, can't wait for it to be open. It would be showing in real life. He asked us in the main chat, and I'm moving it over here. Are there any Shopify themes or plugins to gamify the cart, or is this all hard-coded plugins? Because I know this question was asked around the Avi guys, and they do have, theirs is custom, but I think there's a couple of themes actually, or apps.
Yeah, to be honest, we're not using Shopify.
Do you know any off the top of your head or no?
No, we're not even using Shopify for True Earth. But yeah, I think there probably are some that are rolling out now, and I think you're going to see more of them because there's lots of brands that are doing it. But right now it's probably a custom thing. But if you got the resources, it's probably worth it.
There's a couple that I'll pull up that I know I'll drop in the channel later throughout the day. David asks again, for a business that's under $1 million, what do you think the most important indicators are for increasing conversion rate, generally speaking?
Indicators, like, I think so. Some of the people that I've talked to or helped get their business from low 7s to up to 8 is the biggest leverage point that you're going to have when you're growing your business is like keeping things simple. And if you're under $1 million, I'd be working on dialing up your revenue per sessions, optimizing your offer. To me, it is the lowest hanging fruit, because as soon as you get that nailed, it makes scaling up much easier. Like, you can get your revenue per session higher than your cost per qualified click from Facebook or Google. Then you can arbitrage new customers. Obviously, that's a bit of a unicorn statement, but if you can get your product to be in that particular scenario, you're essentially printing money.
I agree with this too. I think at this point, it's all offer and at ease of purchase. How fast can you get them to purchase? Very straightforward understanding of this stuff, honestly. We have 2 more great questions. So Greg asks, with Google Optimize being sunset, what tool do you recommend to utilize now?
So we used to use Google Optimize, and we're using convert.com now. I think they actually, I don't have any association with them or anything, but I think they have a special for Google Sunset. There's lots of different good stuff out there. I can't even think of the other name. What's that VR? I don't know. We use convert.com. Yeah, VW. I don't know. Honestly, I've used convert.com and I use Google Optimize. Those are the only 2 that I've actively used. Convert.com is not the cheapest, but it's pretty rich in features.
Yeah, VWO is pretty expensive too. So for multivariant testing. So I don't know if there's anything that's cheaply available right now in the market. I probably should have that answer, or I could probably find it though. And the last question we'll go is Parth goes, what do you recommend for increasing AOV for a low ticket brand with personalization product? We're currently doing a free gift at $15 above AOV and free shipping above $5 AOV. That's on the cheap side. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of experience in personalized gifts, but I think yeah, you're stumping me here. Obviously, recommending some of the products that like Amazon style, like these are often purchased together. I'd probably look at like incentive putting a additional gifts at higher thresholds, so like $30-$40 above AOV. But I'm not super familiar with that space, so I'm just spitting out BS. But you could probably use a tool like I don't know if one click upsell will work for you, but have some additional customization like keychains, or I have no idea what it looks like, but as upsells that take the existing data that you fed it, so like your family name or whatever, and pass that through to additional upsells. What I think Jimmy was talking about it in the email thing, where those guys were showing saying the first name of the person that adds to cart and spitting out an auto video of what it could look like. You could take the assets that they've given you to make their existing personalized products and show them what else they could get. Like, actually, now my brain's starting to turn on. Like, whenever my kids get those stupid like pictures for like hockey or lacrosse or soccer or whatever, this is the base package that you get, and then there's like all these crazy packages. So sticking to what I was just saying here, more of what they already bought. A lot of times people want that. So maybe there's an opportunity for them to gift that to a grandparent, gift it to an uncle, an aunt, things like that.
Ryan, sorry, you dropped off on me on a little bit at the end, but I think the crew heard most of it. I have last question for you. Felix is asking it before we jump out of this. But quick question: does cart gamification work well for almost all brands, such as adding a small additional gift for more items?
I'd be lying if I said 100% yes. I can't say that for sure. I would assume so, because it's leveraging the same kind of thing that happens when you use a loyalty program. It's sunk cost fallacy, which is when your brain thinks I've already got this much, I might as well get a little bit more. And like this I do this all the time. Like, I went to go buy a guitar from the guitar store like 4 years ago, and I went in there with intention of buying the $700 guitar, and then I convinced myself, oh, I need the $999 guitar. And then I'm like, the Les Paul Studio is like $1,800. I've already got up to this point. I might as well get the one that's actually worth it. So like, it's once your brain decides that it wants something, it's not difficult to leverage sunk costs to push them over to the next and the next.
I love this one. Ryan. I'm very grateful. You guys, he'll stick around a little bit to ask a couple questions, so he'll be in the chat for maybe 10 more minutes after this. But give him a follow on the Twitters. He does ask some good questions. I will say he does ask very consistent and good questions on the Twitters, and then his YouTube videos. He just likes to give back. He obviously doesn't have to do this, and he does this because he loves the game. It's kind of like for the love of the sport. So Ryan, I appreciate you spending some time with us today, brother. I hope you have a great rest of the week.